Hi Parkville's kids! It's so good to be with you guys again this week and be doing another Bible story. We're super excited.
She said story.
I said story.
You know what that means? It means musical instruments.
Oh my goodness. Very nice.
Story.
Alright, so today we are going to read from our Laugh and Learn Bible for Kids.
What's in this book?
Lots of different Bible stories. Oh my goodness. But today we're going to do something a little bit different.
Just a little bit.
But first, before we get into that, let's grab our comfy blankets because we always need to get nice and comfy.
But what are we doing different?
I'll tell them after we grab our comfy blankets.
Okay. Do you have a comfy blanket?
Do you have one on
here.
hand?
Mine's around here somewhere.
Where'd yours go, Graham?
You seen it? Is it in
I
there?
have mine. Do they have it? Do you have Graham's blanket?
Oh, I found it.
Nice. All right, so we have our comfy blankets. But today, before we read our Bible story, we're actually going to read through our discussion questions first, because we want you guys to be thinking about them as we read the story to you, and then discuss them with your family afterwards. All right? So we have 2 discussion questions today. The first one is, what 3 promises did God make to Abram?
Did you say 3 promises?
Yep. What 3 promises did God make to Abram? And the second question is, how can you follow God's call like Abram did?
Good question.
So those are the 2 questions we want you to be thinking about as we read the story, and then you can talk to your family and discuss them together. Alrighty, so we got our comfy blankets.
Yep. Check.
We are ready to go. I'm going to show you our first picture here. This is a picture of Abram. All right. Once again, the world was sinking in sin. People were fighting, cheating, lying, ignoring God, and hurting each other. It wasn't the way God wanted it to be. And people were building bigger and bigger cities. One of the biggest was a city called Ur. Isn't that a great name? Just 2 letters. U-R. Ur. It's kind of funny.
It's like a pirate.
If someone asked you where you live and you said Ur, they'd say, no, really, where do you live? And you'd say Ur, and they'd say, stop making that noise, where do you live? That would be fun. But we don't have many cities with names like Ur today. We have Chicago, Birmingham, London, and Dubai. Oh, that one's kind of fun to say, Dubai.
Dubai.
But not as much fun as it sounds like that your stomach makes when growling. Yeah, like that. But anyways, back to our story. There was a man living in Ur named Abram. You probably know him as Abraham, because later on God changed his name. But before he was Abraham, he was just Abram. Abram lived in Ur with his family. And when I say family, I don't mean his mom and dad. I mean his mom, dad, sisters, brothers, uncles, aunts, cousins, second cousin, third cousins, and so on and so on. You see, in the ancient world, you were safer if you were in a big group. You were less likely to be robbed or attacked by another group of people if your group of people were really big. Going out on your own in the ancient world was a dangerous thing to do. So people didn't go out on their own. They stuck with their families. All right, read the second page.
Good. There's the picture. One day, God showed up and said, "Hey, Abram, I want you to go out on your own." At this point, Abram didn't know much about God. He didn't have the Bible like we do because he hadn't been written yet. He couldn't go to church like we can because there weren't any churches yet. But Abram trusted God. So when God said to Abram, "Leave your family and follow me," do you know what Abram said? He said, "Okay, I know, crazy. Why did Abram trust God when he didn't even know him yet? Would you have trusted God if you were Abram?"
All right, let's look at the next picture there. That's not all God said to Abram, though. God told Abram that if he did what God asked, Abram wouldn't be alone. God would be with him. Not only that, but God would give him so many kids and grandkids and great-grandkids that Abram's family would become an entire nation. and they'd have their own land, and the whole world would be blessed, given an amazing gift through Abram and his kids. Wow. So Abram said, okay. He left his family, he left his country, he left everything behind, and wandered off into the middle of nowhere, following God as the God he had just met. He took his wife with him. Her name was Sarai. You probably know her as Sarah, because soon after, God would change her name too.
Okay, last picture here. It says they didn't take any children with them, though, because they didn't have any children. Sarai and Abram really wanted to have children, but God hadn't blessed them with any. Which might make you ask a very important question. How was Abram supposed to build a big, big family that could be a whole nation if he didn't have any children? And that's the story we will tell next. All right, so remember our 2 questions to talk about. It's what 3 promises did God make to Abram? And then the other one was, how can you follow God's call like Abram did? And all right, so I'm going to ask you to pray with me, and we will, just pray right now. So it says this: Dear God, we want to follow where you lead us every day. Please show us which way to go. Amen.
Amen. All right, so our Bible verse for today is from Psalm 32, verse 8. And it says, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. So that's Psalm 32:8, and we'll have that in the description so that you guys can try memorizing that as a family.
Still can, which means you gotta use your memory to memorize, you know?
Very true.
Very true. All right, cool. Well, y'all, it was so good to have you join us today. We're just so grateful that you, just enjoy Bible stories like we do. Don't you enjoy Bible stories?
Oh, I love it.
I love Bible stories.
Oh.
Too.
You didn't even realize what you were doing.
I set myself up. Anyways, we hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, whatever you're doing the rest of today. But no, we care about you, and hope you're growing in your walk with Jesus, and we hope to grow with you. So we're going to sign off for now, but it is so good to, again, be with you today. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.